So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. As indicated, of course, on my channel, I am C Unique. My name being Charity Unique Blackwell. I have many things going on. I have two programs that I really love. I am very deeply committed to and have proven myself with the first program, which is my son's homeschooling program that I have created over the years. And it's continuing to grow and prosper and become better and better with each year. God is glorious. And then my second program that I've picked up that I don't know, how that will pan out or anything, but I'm trying to apply myself and do it as pleasing to the Lord, to give Him glory. And that is my endeavor to run Hope College, a non-accredited college, Christian college, to go over the entirety of the King James Version Bible. That being said, why am I saying that on this? It is because with all that going on, one of the things I have done is installed a security system that was actually to complement my Ring Cam that I actually got. I know it's so is it the word convoluted? I'm not sure what that word means, but it's a lot involved. So I'm mentioning this because of the Ring Cam. The reason why I got the Ring Cam is for my son's actually for because I was cleaning about a year ago and I haven't been able to use. I've tried to clean the peephole, so don't clean your peephole to the front door, and I haven't been able to use it. I know it's been too long, for about a year, which is not really good, especially since it's just me and my boys. That being said, I really felt compelled to get on that and address that since I've run the program. So then I was thinking, since I need a peephole, but that might not, the management might decide that's kind of silly. Like, yeah, I was washing the peephole and now I can't see through it because washing it made it foggy, which that was not what I was thinking was going to happen. But nonetheless, let me continue. So I did that, can't use my peephole, so then I get the Ring camera. Then I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I can utilize this as like a security system for my program. Okay, so moving forward, did all that. As convoluted or as complex, if convoluted is not the correct word and I'm using it incorrectly, as that sounds, that's all taken care of. So fast forward to today. So actually on yesterday, let me confirm what that day actually was. Was it the 13th? Let me see. No, today is the 13th. Yesterday would be August 12th, 2025. So I haven't had the Ring camera. I've had the Ring camera for about like 2 or 3 days, maybe 4 days, but I just literally got it. I don't even think it's been a week, and I'm pleased with it. I am pleased with the Ring Cam. I don't have all the features. We may grow in regards, since it is a program, but we are in the heart of the ghetto. I am trying to run these programs with no event, of course, because it's pets here, family here, art studio, recording studio, homeschooling studio, and regular family, right? So since I'm doing all this, I figure, maybe we will grow it or whatnot, but I check my security cam. I'm really liking it. I really like the crisp picture, by the way. Crisp footage, excellent footage. It's not necessarily 4K or 8K, but then again, it probably wouldn't be for just, at this price point, right? So it's a modest price point. If I can afford it, it's a modest price point, which I appreciate. Maybe one day I can afford something bigger and better, like maybe ADT or something. But I don't necessarily have much complaints, but I am a little bit concerned because of what I'm about to express to you. Getting to the point. So this video, as much as it sounds like I'm going to perhaps babble or waste your time, I promise you this video will be an excellent use of your time. I will try to keep it under 10 minutes because while it truly urgent and impactful, I don't think it needs to take more than 10 minutes to relay the message to you in a way that you all will understand and appreciate. So on yesterday, after not having, Ring camera for not maybe even a week, it hasn't even been 30 days as the cover says, I'm checking the footage constantly, of course, being mom, running 2 programs, making sure my family is safe, everything like that. And just seeing how it runs and learning it, right? Because it's a little bit of a learning curve. It's easy, but it's still a little bit of a learning curve. I'm still learning how to use the app, etc. So I'm doing that, and I notice when I go out to walk Gunner, our service dog, right, that we just recently adopted, into our home, our family, our program, I'm walking him. I come back home and I immediately go to the footage. I'm not even sure why, but I wanted to go and check the footage. So I expect to see myself leaving, and I see myself leaving, and I was actually going to pick up my phone, but I realized it's the thing I'm recording on, so that's why I can't do that, you guys. I thought about doing the footage, letting you see the footage, and in future videos I very well might, but other people are coming through back and forth, and really I will try not to show that footage unless they do something really bad, which hopefully they won't do. Hopefully my neighbors won't do that. I know I promise not to do that, but of course I'm not going to do that, right? But unless they do something really bad, I'm gonna try. It's a goal I set for myself, just to make sure that everything is up on the up and up with my channel. Now I might, it's not like I'm beholden to it. It's just a standard. But since it's so urgent, and since this is such a not good thing that I'm talking about, for the sake of public education and awareness, since I am the remnant, I am a watcher, and I do relay very important, urgent information to the general public, I might go ahead and share some footage with the people, walking around and stuff like that, in passing, because people tend to do that when they either it's a small space, so it can't be helped, right? Nor would I ask them to not, for the purpose of recording, because it's recording 24/7, right? So it's a livable shared space, so that's understandable. But nonetheless, I will try not to do that unless I blur faces out. And unless, so this meets the standard, frankly, of me going ahead and showing the footage, even though they may be walking across the hall to walk their dog, walking across the camera in order to do their laundry, etc. It meets the standard, but I won't do it for now. So when I do show it, oh, she's on the up and up. It's nothing scandalous. She's simply educating, sharing urgent information. But got to build that trust. So essentially that's what I'm doing, right? I'm not just here to put everybody on blast, because no, that's not my point. Never has it ever been. So nonetheless, without showing you the footage for this particular video, because there are tons of people, like they're walking. It's just like it's a convention or something. It's tons of people. I do not feel like doing all that blurring and stuff and all those happy smiley faces, right? Neither do I have to, but I'm just electing to just tell you. You're just going to have to take my word for it. I do feel like it's more engaging if you actually get to see the footage, and at some point I may change my mind and actually post the very footage, because I do have it in my possession. At least right now I do. So what is the very urgent thing that has happened? I realize I'm running on 10 minutes. I promise to try to go keep it quick. The very urgent thing that happened was when I walked Gunner, ladies and gentlemen, I saw myself, I referred back to my footage, and I checked on multiple times. I checked at least 1, 2, 3, maybe more than 3 times, because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But I saw myself, my camera captured me leaving the building at approximately 12:36, if my memory serves me correctly, which it's probably really close because I have a pretty sharp memory. So at approximately 12:36 p.m. or 12:35, 12:36 p.m., You can see me leaving with a trash bag in my hand and with our German Shepherd service dog. What you never see is me returning. This is very concerning on multiple levels, y'all. I trust that, especially those who have been engaged in my program, you are exceptional learners, listeners, and learning to be discerners if you're not already discerners. There are multiple negative implications with this. My camera's failure to capture me coming back home when I have multiple pets. Just think. Let me just say it and you will piece it all together, being the intelligent ladies and gentlemen that you are. This is completely unsatisfactory. I have multiple pets in this house. I have disabled residents in this house. Young persons, not to put all their business. I'll really talk about that because I do not tell my baby's business. They have autonomy, but nonetheless, this is the reality of my house. I run 2 programs which require integrity and character. If you're going to have your face out there telling people about God, the Bible, dealing with people who have needs, that you need to show yourself trustworthy, faithful, diligent. So all these things in place, and it's just me, so I don't have any backup. And so this is, as you can think, as you're putting it together, and rightfully so, this camera is essentially lying on me. The failure of this camera just lied on me, a total lie. The purpose of having these cameras, I will say for myself, I won't speak for you, even though I'm pretty sure you would agree with me. The purpose of having these cameras, for those of us who are honest, part of the remnant, for those of us who are watchers, or simply even among you friendly heathens out there who you're honest and live an honest life, and you simply want to be able to do so in peace, knowing that you have a backup mechanism in order to capture conversations that you have, deliveries that are made, etc. Maybe even the space around your building or your home, especially if you have bushes or shrubbery and stuff like that, or even vehicles that can block and obscure your view. And when your camera fails to record certain things, this is ultimately, it's failing to record reality. The misconception is a lie, because the camera literally says, without saying it, that Miss Blackwell, C Unique, right, because I sing too, C Unique, Miss Blackwell, whatever you want to refer to me as, Charity, Sister Charity, she left the house with a bag and a dog at 12:35 p.m. and literally never returned. What does that say when I have multiple pets? Now, quite frankly, that could kind of fit in, because yes, we can travel with pets left back at home, provided we care for them, which we obviously would. But nonetheless, a house with multiple pets, a house with 2 special needs residents, what on the earth does that say about me? It literally, my own camera's failure to record my return home says, I left my family, I ditched my family at approximately 12. This is exactly what it's saying, and it's a lie. I ditched my family, my whole household, at approximately 12:35 p.m., except I took 1 dog with me and 1 bag of trash, apparently, and I never came back. And quite frankly, the footage would show, and it'd be confusing, because if I were to enter into a courtroom or even present it to someone, let's say you are concerned about my character, you're concerned about, but the only thing I have to relate, now of course this would be a very obscure situation, but these situations happen, you know. The only thing I have to relate to you to prove my character or worthiness for the position, the assignment, or even maybe a concern that you have, is the footage that I'm relying on. I referred to this footage, and it looks like I exited the house twice, which is really weird, since there's no back door, there's no other point of entry or exit except for a window. So unless I used a window in order to re-enter the house, it looks like I exited the house twice, which is really sloppy work. It's really sloppy recording, because you can't exit a place twice unless you exit, you re-enter, and then you exit again. That's the second exit. So what does that say? ultimately, if you take this from my micro level as a watcher and take it to the macro level, ladies and gentlemen, now I'll aim to keep it under 20 minutes. I promise. It means that what you need to be doing, well, first of all, this is not a prophecy, but it's smart, I believe. You can pray about it. You need to perhaps at least consider getting your government, the United States government, with all of this AI and all of these security system cameras that are capturing probably still images, moving video images, etc. And ultimately, these are going to be submissions and crucial elements of cases. Unfortunately, since there's the presence of criminality, and in certain tender cases, like child custody and stuff. Reminder, I run these two programs. This is crazy. It shows I ditched my family at 12:35 and literally never came back. That's a lie. I actually made a post about it in which I said, I'm sitting here with my family right now. The failure of my camera to actually record me re-entering my house is indeed a very concerning failure of the security system. But I am, in fact, sitting with my family right now. I did not ditch my home, my family, my babies. So what we need to do, I believe, what we need to do is prayerfully, all of us consider praying, believing for the United States government to consider this in all submissions. First of all, they need to do a formal investigation and study on these security systems and cameras to figure out what just happened. What happened? Why did my camera record me leaving and then it never recorded me coming back? It literally recorded me leaving, and it's not a matter of it going off. It's not a matter of anything like that. It recorded me leaving, and then it did not record me coming back. And then it started recording about 10 minutes later. That left about a 10-minute gap in which it was recording nothing. It recorded nothing. So I see at events that happened, like as when I came back, it's almost like it did not start resume recording until I was already in the house. Then it resumed recording. But now this is a misconception. This is, if this were to be presented in a court, the courtroom is getting bad information, not because of anything I did or you did, because the camera is lying, essentially, which is horrible because we're relying on these entities, these security systems, these mechanisms to tell the truth. But what happens when they don't? What happens when they tell a lie instead? I warned, but literally none of you watched it. None of you. I have a obscure video that I did maybe about like 5 or 6 months ago with 0 views on the end times and the changing warping of video and videography and video images and still images in a way that I cannot really explain. As mentioned in a movie, the name of the movie is called, I believe it is called Megiddo, Meggido. I hope that's the right movie, but I believe that's the name of the movie. Nobody watched it, but nonetheless, as some of the things I say are ignored, it is concerning that it seems that they're actually happening. Whether I'm ignored or not, they're happening. So once again, I feel like the people need to press upon our United States government to consider that this is a real issue. Yes, one of the most reliable submissions in a court case, in a child custody case, are still images over time, video images over time. If it's stamped and date, even better. But our government needs to take into consideration the ever-changing aspects of these mechanisms. And now, on top of everything else, when they could barely handle, a government has never, ever been able to never been able to lasso online. And now, when they have not been able to lasso and harness online successfully, they've not been able to police it. Now they have AI compounded to that. So now you have three things that are rogue. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to tell you, these things usually are not a problem until they are a major problem. I'm telling you as a watcher that there are three entities right now that your government has absolutely no control over. The internet, whether you think to believe that or not, it is true. Wait until, I pray you never do, but people typically don't notice this until they have a crime that happens utilizing the internet. Then they see how poorly, how badly the government is able to successfully lasso the internet. They're not able to do it. Not even the FBI, not even the CIA, none of these entities, and definitely not the cops, they're not able to lasso the internet. The internet is out of control. The second entity is AI, because essentially it's brand new. And the third entity that I didn't think would happen this fast is in fact based upon also my video and a reference video, Megiddo, that was before my video. Based upon that information and this real life experience, I now absolutely understand that yes, our security systems can absolutely fail us, leaving gaps at essential times that could either make or break a court case, to make a judge make a very horrible decision in a child custody case, or how that should progress if it's not custody but necessarily maybe different aspects of the child's life in a court system. Having bad information on the bench is a really bad thing when you're dealing with children, when you're dealing with programs such as mine, when you're dealing with crimes that are happening. Bad information is really bad. So that's what we need to do. I already said what the government needs to do. They need to accept that perhaps they're not ready to accept the existence of the supernatural, but it is definitely time for them to accept that these security systems, however useful and mostly reliable they are, even a camera or a still image can tell a lie, because there was essentially a 10-minute gap. And out of all, you got to ask yourself, out of all of the hours and time of the day, because it's recording 24/7, it has not done that until that time. That was the very time that would have told a really big lie on me. So think about anything that you're dealing with right now. Maybe you're a person that deals with cash. Maybe you deal with precious jewels. Maybe you work with children, or maybe you work in a hospital. But maybe you're in a position in which there is a level of trust or even great trust, and you're entrusted with something that is really great, really tender, etc. And you are doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, and they have mechanisms in place. Ultimately, I think we're all going to be humbled. Yeah, I'll say it. I think a part of it is humility. I'll say why, but we really need to work on actually making these mechanisms better. But a part of it, I think, is we're going to be forced to be humble, because there's going to be a time and place perhaps where we're going to have to be forced to put aside all these new things, a lot of them that we have been using rather than discernment, rather than prayer, rather than God, in fact. These things that maybe we have more faith in than the angels of God, than the goodness of God and the blood of Jesus Christ. We'll have to put aside these things, and maybe the Lord tests the quality of the relationship that we have in front of us. For why have certain relationships, not all can be helped, but certain relationships, if it's not real, if you don't trust. And a part of humility might be having to trust someone's word when they said, I was there at this time. Do you trust me? I know this sounds old-fashioned. I know it sounds old world. I know it sounds like something a homemaker would say. But nonetheless, I feel like it's a message that is compelling and that everyone needs to hear. So I promise you that maybe it might be a really good idea on today or for the rest of the year to go to the Lord about the quality of the relationships that you have, and even whether those relationships should in fact be. Because what if you ever have a situation, in a trusted situation, where, especially if someone is deserving of trust, if the still images don't tell the right story, if the video doesn't tell the right story, are you working around people that you actually trust? Do you trust your care person? Do you trust the person who takes care of your money? Do you trust these people? Because at the end of the day, I feel as though a lot of the old world things will be required no matter how much we think we have evolved. And I think that's kind of a good thing. I actually do. But nonetheless, I hope that we all consider this. This is, in my opinion, a very urgent video. That's why I made it. It's 25 minutes. My apologies, but I hope that's not too long. But take care and bye. And remember, while a picture can tell 1,000 words, even a picture and a video can also tell a lie. Bye.